Rain or shine, we go racing. Welcome to Grid Life Midwest Festival, the 13th annual in South Haven, Michigan. My name's Kyle Heyer, joined by Jackson Lambros and Arjuna Kankapati. Today, this is round number 3 of the 2026 Grid Life Championship. This is racing and music and car culture all smashed into one event. And though the weather has been beautiful all weekend long, it has been a little rainy, a little dreary this morning. And Jackson, we're just about rolling for the Grid Life Rush Series race number 3. And we're going to go through the starting lineup here because it is a big grid of cars. On the front row, it's Blair Hosey and James French in the number 8 and 191 side by side. They will kick things off from the front of this 45-car grid. In row number 2, it's Ryan Leach in the number 56 and Bryce Mersberger in the number 114. He rolls off in 4th as a championship leader. Ryerson Whistle and Jalen Batley share row number 3 in 5th and 6th place. Then it's Isaac Nolan and Justin Kelly, a newcomer to the series, rolls off in 8th place. And rounding out row 5, Jackson, is Andy Vogel and Max Kraus.
Fastest lap from race number 2. Going to set the grid here for the remainder after the shootout. Trip Stout, Elias Spieza going to make up row number 6, just on the outside of fighting for a win. Hassan Ahmed, Jason Oler, pair of newcomers rounding out row number 7. Then you look back, John Robinson, Grant Bourne on the 127 looking very strong in single car qualifying. Suffered a little bit in race number 1. He's further back. Jordan Musser also major technical issues in race number 1. Heath Pomeranz, Michael Neff round out row number 10.
And in 21st place, starting in row number 11, it is Keegan Bosch in the number 112 car. Lee Keller rolls to his outside in the number 13 in 22nd place. Anthony Maganoli working up from some issues earlier in the weekend, starts 23rd, and Kyle Melnick in the green car starts 24th. Tony Barber, his first weekend in the Rush Series car, rolls off 25th with Nick Billingsley to his outside, followed by Mark Charnogorski and Ryan Anderson in row number 14. Rounding out row 15 and your top 30, Matt Wilson and Robert Desjardins.
Again, record-setting numbers here to get us started in 2026. Bill Dorrance, Pat Brady, going to round out row number 16. Ben Carroll, AJ Campo, 33rd and 34th, respectively. Jake Sanders, another circuit jerk racing driver in the 77, will be alongside Jared Anderson in the 99. That's row 18. Ethan Hardesty, Sam Reed, another newcomer in the 256. He's 38th. And we look back to row number 20, Kelsey Anderson alongside Jeffrey Gordon.
And rounding out the last couple of rows here in this grid, it is J.D. Kroll in 41st place, Jeff Hardesty in 42nd. And the last row, as we get ready to go racing, Paul Click in the number 71, 43rd, and Ayrton Grimm to the rear of the field starts 44th. Weather forecast is a little bit clear, a little bit better later today. We're going to have 2 pace laps here, which is good. Give the drivers an opportunity to circulate once more to see what the track conditions are like. It was really wet and rainy this morning. Jackson, we've seen these cars race in the rain before. You see on the radar on the bottom right of the screen, 15-mile-an-hour breeze. It's very cool. It's slick out there. It's damp, but no longer raining.
We just thought we maybe beat it out Thursday night, and we were going to be clear from flag to flag this weekend. Unfortunately, what was supposed to be some rain hitting us in the early hours of the morning here has stretched out to hit us here for race number 3. The good news is, although we don't have that massive ball of gas to help evaporate this water from the track, we do have 45 cars on track here laying down some Nankang rubber, trying to push some of that water off the racing surface.
And despite the weather, last night we had thousands of people there. You can see a number of them have cleared out. That was full last night at midnight when Tate B was finishing out the set. I imagine a handful of people getting up early to escape the weather, Jackson, but it was officially the biggest Grid Life Midwest ever. Sold out again. It was sold out last year, but we added more camping and more parking this year, reconfigured some things. It's been a great weekend. It wasn't without its challenges, though, and I want to take a moment to thank not only the 17-person broadcast crew from Project Prime, based out of Florida, that travels with us to all of our events and puts on the show, for withstanding the weather and the complications, and a large aluminum awning support pole shooting through the side of the trailer the other day in a windstorm. And then, of course, the 150 people here at Grid Life and V2 Productions and all of the different teams, the box office, the merch, the parking team, the medical team that put on this event, because it is an enormous challenge to bring this many people to a racetrack like this to put on a show like we do.
The stuff you don't see, right? Not just on our end for the broadcast, but obviously Grid Life as a whole. It takes a village, and these are things that we plan tail end of the season before in really getting things really prepared for in some cases 5 people or 5 days of running. But Chris Jennings, Jared Trexler, those guys doing a phenomenal job of really leading this Prime crew.
And everybody on this entire team, you know, it takes a village to put this on. There's 5 man camera operators around there, 2 pilots on the drones, Max Ross Johnson and Robert Swain, a handful of utilities, Reno Radis and Mike Norgard, of course, Justin Stansel, the engineer, Kevin Riley, the technical director. So many people put this on here, Jackson.
And I objectively need to give a tip of the cap to my man, Max Bangenberg, who's, I think, has maybe ran a 5K for me this weekend and how much I've dragged him around. 2 quick notes here. Gabe Nitre, too many issues after race number 1. He's already back home in Orlando, flew home last night, obviously with the cowling off for Ayrton Grimm. He's sent to the back for 44 cars. But here we go, races 3 and 4 throughout the afternoon. We're so happy to have you with us. It's an all LEM front row. Blair Hosey's on the pole, and on the play-by-play, Kyle Heyer.
44 cars geared up to go racing. 15 minutes in these $50,000 Rush SR cars, waiting for the green at the further flag stand here. 2 rows, see cars popping out. When the flag goes green, we can start racing. Green flag is in the air, and we're underway at GridLife Midwest Festival into turn 1.
Good reaction there from Hosey as we are already going opposite lock. Leach gonna back it in for P2, will slot in immediately. Looking like we're nearly 3 or 4 wide, just a little bit further back. But it is indeed the Rush Auto Works showrunner, Blair Hosey. Knows this car inside and out, has driven it in practically every condition. He's able to maximize, he's up and away in P1.
Through turn number 3, still a couple cars wide there, getting sorted out. Throttling up down the backstretch run, a couple cars. Whoa, big bob and a wave there from Ayrton Grimm.
Jalen Batley around the outside there was able to just get ahead of Andy Volkel. I see a couple more, 2, 3 wide. And once you get outside of the top 10, you really get that Lord of the Flies scenario. Everyone trying to maximize their point output over this weekend. Again, very little opportunities for green flag running after a handful of yellows, both in race 1 and race 2, respectively. Oh, I thought Jalen Batley was going to get squeezed there further back for P8. As you look a little bit further back, that's Jordan Musser on the outside. Another turn-in concept machine going down low. Let's check back in. Batley forced to the inside. Big lunge there into 10B. Batley with a really good move there on the anchors again. Nolan native coming off of both a full season running here with the Rush Auto Works machines, as well as doing some open wheel stuff. The Skip Barber Open Wheel Championship. Had a great conversation with him on the grid prior to race number 2. And he said the similarities here from the Rush SR is he's got a major lockup there going into 11. Will go exit stage left into pit lane, and will now have to do a little bit of lawn work to get back out on track.
Yeah, just had it locked up and was not able to get it woe down in time to make the corner. Bryce Mersberger holding off Ryerson Whistle there in the number 45, exiting turn 1 and streaming around turn 2 again. Lap 1 complete, working on timing. Don't have anything from the tower at the moment. Trip Stout on the outside, coming back around, leaving turn 2.
Trip Stout wishing all you guys a happy Flag Day behind the wheel of that number 3. He's trying the outside, trying to walk the tightrope, but let's take a look further back here as you see just that slight puff of smoke, and I think maybe got in a puddle of water. But those front 2 Nankangs did not want to slow that car down from speeds north of 110 miles an hour. He's got to turn that pit entry into a makeshift runoff, gets it fully slowed down, and will drop down to outside of the top 20.
So streaming back through on the middle of lap 2 now. Carving around the backside of the course, and again that battle we saw into turn 3 between Trip Stout and Ryerson Whistle. Trip nosing ahead for now, 2 car lengths between them.
Bryce Mersberg just a little bit ahead there, your championship leader, the red plates, helping us distinguish who's the one to beat out on track, and just has not been able to hit the ground running like we saw him both at CMP, Road Atlanta. And part of that is just this little amount of prep time a lot of these guys have. But Mersberger has started to get slowly but surely more and more comfortable. He's on the tracks of your defending champion, the 56, Ryan Leash. B-check back in, out in front. It is cruise control for Blair Hosey. Here's Mersberger looking to the inside, thinks smarter of it.
Blair Hosey out in front in the number 8. Circulating right now, still working on the timing in the background here for you folks, but into turn 1. All by himself, really no one even close at the moment. It's James French in second place, 10-15 car lengths back. And then side by side again for Bryce Mersberger. They're gonna look 3 wide for a moment as Ryan Leach tries to hold him off.
Trip Stout trying to swing it wide there. As we look a little bit further back, Jake Sanders, you just see there in that Mega Man 188 on the inside. Oh, side by side into turn number 2. He's got to walk the tightrope. No marbles on the outside, but definitely a lot of standing water. Yellow flag in sector 1. We'll try and get you guys an answer as to why specifically. Look at this, Stout on the inside of Leash, side by side. Mersberger looking for a way through as well. Stout gonna have it on the anchors. Big slide to the inside as Bryce tries to go with him. Leash sideways on the throttle.
So
how
fun
about that?
To watch these guys balance on the throttle there, and Leach is going to lose the spot to Mersberger. You can see them kick the cars out sideways. They rely on a little bit of aero, but pokes up the inside. This is going to be fun to watch him through 7 here.
Trip Stout on the inside, or no, excuse me. Ryerson Wissell, the Wonder Kid, 15 years young, tiptoes through your reigning champion for what I believe is P7. And man, Bryce Mersberger, full opposite lock there, working his way out of 9 into 10A. One of our few heavy braking zones. What I was going to say before Jalen Batley exited stage left, the difference from many open wheel cars he's driven, just how much pedal travel it has compared to a lot of the open wheelers. He's driven a lot of travel, not as pressure sensitive, and that's been a struggle he's had in trying to switch between rush and open wheel mode. And obviously we saw it right here just a couple laps ago.
Yeah, give it a minute here to reset on the timing and scoring as we come across the stripe here. Just up in the timing relay, not quite working. It might take a lap here to get it all resorted, but into turn 1 now. The battles continue here midfield. Look at the slides that they handle through turn 1.
It's such a momentum-based car, Kyle, right? You only have, out of these 1-liter engines, so much power, so much top speed. They're running the shorter sprocket this weekend. That gear set may be going to top out at around 110 miles an hour, but you've got to maximize entry speed, exit speed, every opportunity you've got. Big move further back around the outside. That was almost a 2 for Ryerson Wissell. Nuclear move will take 2.
Wow, that was really cool. Ryerson Wissell getting the move done. He really seems to be happy with the rain and the weather conditions. Seems to be just absolutely locked in at the moment. Some drivers really like racing in the rain here, Jackson, and he seems to be doing well.
I saw a mismatch of different colors. That might have been Ayrton Grimm just outside of the picture, and you consider the double-duty driver might have been starting at the tail end of the field. He is just their full opposite lock there. Tokyo Drift for your reigning champion, the 56 of Ryan Leash, coming off of a full season as well, doing a Global MX5 Cup, running alongside the IMSA Championship weekends. Just a little bit further back, you see Ellis Pieza of ARX fame trying to crawl his way into the picture as well. I reckon, again, a lot of ARX experience for him. I think he's a little bit more comfortable on these slippery surfaces. He goes to the inside here, trying to launch that 111. The Rush, a Central Texas driver, has the launch. Does he have the momentum on the inside? Tucked in early to try and get a little bit of the slipstream. Again, this is the longest part of the racetrack, about 75% of a mile, but not able to get that run. For the time being, Leash gonna hold on to what I believe is P7 or P8 on track. Look at that, last to the top 10 further back, the 121, Ayrton Grimm making moves.
He is flying past half the field and plus some. This is an incredible drive up the order.
Again, missing an engine cowling yesterday, had that rapidly exit the vehicle. That was one of our reasons why we were under caution for such a long time in race number 2. Looking further up the field here, Ryerson Wissell leading some of the biggest names in grassroots racing. Blair Hosey out in front, uncontested. Look at the rotation of that cart. He's so confident in trailing it, chucking the car in, and having that rotation, not with the wheel, but with the pedals itself. And what I'm seeing here, not a lot of binding of the chassis itself. You're not seeing that twitch of the rears gripping up. It is just one fluid motion. And when you're trying to maximize corner speed, corner exit speed particularly, that is exactly what you want to see out of a driver.
So hearing that there were some transponder issues and that timing was manually passing a handful of cars.
Oh, wow.
So that's why the ticker is a little bit out of sorts. Now we're back to normal here. So Blair Hosey leads the way. James French, Ryerson Wissell, Bryce Mersberger, Trip Stout, your top 5. And again, thanks to those behind the scenes to keep it all working. You know what doesn't jive well with electronics is a lot of water.
I believe it would be water, yes. Here we go, folks, halfway home. Man, Blair Hosey, do you want to say that's the clean air advantage in these conditions?
It's certainly not hurting. I mean, he doesn't have the spray or anything on his helmet either, so he's able to just focus ahead. So, I think for him right now, he's just locked in and trying to just drive away. James French in second place. Crossing the line, see the yellow flash, Ryerson whistle in third. Look at this sliding everyone's still doing, but the track's going to dry out as we continue to move forward.
You can already see the reduction of a lot of the water and some of the standing puddles of water that we saw during track battle. So again, when you get 40-something cars out on track, it is very easy to rejuvenate that racing line and get this track back up to racing action. Crucially, since we've gone green, I haven't felt a drop of water, and I don't think I see anything really right now. We haven't seen too much moisture gathering up here on the lenses of our cameras. So I think for the most part here, knock on wood for me at home, everybody, I think we might be good.
I think you're right. I think most of the weather has passed us now, so for the rest of the day, we should be pretty free and clear. The Rush Series cars doing a nice job keeping it on the road, all things considered. We've got one lap in race one, but as we continue to move throughout this day, hopefully the track will get a little bit grippier, a little bit stickier.
So a handful of issues here as I see a couple of cars down. Kilch in the 71, Barber, pair of Hardesties, as well as crucially Andy Volkel, who made the show for the shootout earlier on last night, put it in P9 for turn-in concepts. He's 4 laps down. We did see a yellow flag earlier on in sector 1, and doing my deductive reasoning here would be led to believe that that would be one of the pair of turn-in rushes. We'll try and get you guys an answer as to what happened particularly. But man, you want to talk about a repeat earlier on. No drama for Blair Hosey. A little bit more further back. Good run for Ayrton Grimm. Gonna take it to the outside here and try and make that move on the red, white, and blue machine. Trip Stout will have the nose fully ahead. Stout might have an opportunity. He will, lunging into the final corner. Grimm on the outside. He's not scared of the low grip on the high side. He lets it hang to hold the position.
I think it actually helped that he was on the outside there, sort of the rain line. There's a tiny little bit of camber there that kind of lets the water run to the inside, though they've been running primarily in that racing groove. Ayrton found some extra grip out there, and big slide through turn 1. He is on a mission. This is an insane climb for Ayrton Grimm in that 121.
Maybe one of the drives of the year we've seen, and Ayrton Grimm has been, you look at some of the big moments, whether it was GLTC race number 3 we saw at Atlanta, he has been looking for opportunities. He's been looking for hardware in one of the 2 classes he's doing. And we'll be the first to remind you, the minute he's wrapping up this race, he's driving right back over to his tent, jumping in the NCMX5 and going back to it for TC race number 3. But talking to him in the tent, he's talked about how much that's kind of broadened his experience as a driver. He feels like he learns a little bit more about how to maximize the MX-5 when he's behind the wheel of the Rush, and vice versa, just because of the different characteristics, and you learn to think outside of the box beyond the cockpit, right? So a lot of heads-up driving for him, a lot of, call it unconventional ways for the 17-year-old to learn ways, 16-year-old, to learn ways to get fast here. But it is a lot of young talent out in front because, man, Ryerson was self.
Yeah, Whistle, I mean, in that 45, just doing an amazing job, but keep an eye on Merzberger and then Ayrton Grimm. What fire have they lit under his rear tush today, because he is absolutely hauling in that 121. If you recall yesterday, he lost the engine cover, and that is, ooh, boy.
That's going to be wheel rub on the back left, I believe, of Spieza there.
Yeah, and he's going to stay on the road. It does look like left rear tire rub, and sometimes the tire can sort of clear the bodywork, so you might leave it, but that's pretty significant. And if it cuts the tire down, he could go for a pretty wild ride.
Certainly not helping him in the straights either. That's given both Stoughton and Grimm the opportunity to go on through. He's hanging on against Trip Stout for the time being. And just further back, you got Ryan Leash just waiting to pounce there as well.
Once you lean into the corners, it pushes the rubber around and sort of flexes the bodywork just enough to clear it. So it might be a self-clearancing problem. A little lap traffic there, I think, getting out of the way. Don't think that was one of our front-running cars. So that smoke seems to be gone for the time being. It might kind of come back as the downforce builds on the car and it pushes the rear end into the pavement.
Yep, lap traffic there. So that'll be no dramatics. They'll play nice and allow both Stout, Leash, and Kelly to mosey on through. Good recovery drive as well for Kelly, coming from P15. Gets himself into the top 10.
6 minutes to go here in the GRIDLIFE Rush Series, and game on at the front.
Do not count out James French in this picture as well. Just goes purple there, and is slowly but surely chipping that gap down to P1. You look just a little bit further back, and we rewind the clock to about 15 minutes to go. That was up to about 3.5 seconds. And as the track dries out, that might have been the way they tuned the 191, you get the picture that a lot of these guys woke up this morning not expecting a wet race, so I imagine a lot of these cars still set up for dry conditions.
White flag, this will be the last lap of the race as the 8 of Blair Hosey comes across the stripe. 1 lap remains in this race 3, and we've had our fair bit of drama passing, and through turn 1 here, James French is on a mission.
Look at that gap, 1 second taken away in just that lone circuit, 1.661. Now separating the two of them, and now Ayrton Grimm going purple. He's battling back just a little bit further still with Bryce Mersberger, Alex Pieza, but we keep it out in front because French throwing everything he can right now to catch that Rush Auto Works showrunner out in P1.
Yeah, this could be dramatic. I know the gap looks pretty big, but it's amazing how fast a driver who is motivated can run him down. Look at Ayrton Grimm now. Best lap of the race in 5th place. French sliding through 5 and 6. This is phenomenal racing.
Running out of time, running out of opportunities here. The big braking zone of 10 Bravo.
Wow, this is, he's not going to get all the way back to Blair Hosey, but remember that we invert a random number of drivers. I don't know, he is closing still, isn't he?
And French has been waiting for opportunities all season long, right? Hasn't been able to fully deploy that. Had some really good showings at Road Atlanta, but with a lot of chaos there as well, especially within the sharp end of the field, just has not been able to really get it going. But a guy who has driven everything, has been fast in everything, has raced in some of the biggest events in the world, is still waiting for that opportunity that could come here, and if not, definitely someone to look out for in race number 4.
Blair Hosey continues a strong weekend at GingerMan Raceway. Through the rain, through the mist, through the damp conditions, Blair Hosey prevails over James French in the GRIDLIFE Rush Series, race number 3 from Midwest Festival. French comes home in 2nd. And this battle for 3rd place, it's Whistle, it's Bryce Mersberger, gets a shot from Ayrton Grimm, and the 3 drivers slipping, sliding across the stripe for 3rd place. Give it to Whistle by 0.05 of a second over Mersberger.
Just a phenomenal showing from all 3 of those drivers. And man, Ryerson Wissell was so snake bit for round number 2 at special stage, just could not get that car working properly. And talking to him, you know, back in May, it was frustration because he knew he had pace. It's just the car didn't want to fully cooperate with him. But man, he's showing it this weekend. When that 45 is fully operating, he is absolutely a force to be reckoned with.
Here's a look at your results as the rest of the field comes across the line. Blair Hosey is the winner. I guess something got turned around backwards there, but Blair Hosey, then French, then Ryerson Whistle, Mersberger, Grimm, the rest of your top 5. Spezia, Stout, Leach, Kelly, and Ahmed, the rest of the top 10. Then Brett DiGiacomo, Max Kraus, Kyle Melnick, Jalen Batley, and Ben Carroll Jackson as the rest of the order scrolls on through.
Yep, good recovery drive from Jalen Batley. You see a little bit further back there, dropped down to, I believe, 25th after that lockup into turn 11. But again, not the showing that the 88 would have wanted. A couple of guys really starting to drop back further back. Jordan Musser, again, just has been playing catch-up all weekend long. Heath Pomeranz having a little bit of issues for Road Atlanta. I think he's still nursing a couple of issues for the 511 after some dramatics there. We'll have to gather it back up. But again, what makes Rush SR so special? No matter where you look, there is always a good showing.
Yeah, spectacular race, really fun to watch. And though the weather was damp, everyone basically kept it on the road.
Yeah.
And we got through a green flag race, so that was exciting stuff. And Jackson, that was setting us up for a GRIDLIFE Rush Series race 4 later today with a little bit of a random invert. Blair Hosey will be the one to roll the dice.
Going to be something to look out for. Let's run you back here through our highlights of race number 3. And from the drop of the gun, Hosey had the inside line, had the advantage, was able to get up and away. That means though he still had to work for it. Full opposite luck. They were the first ones to lay the dry rubber down.
Yeah, then Hosey was able to sort of scamper away. All the while, Jalen Batley struggled in the braking zone. Big lockup there, wasn't able to recover once he was past the point of grip. And then this excellent battle between Leach and Trip Stout and Bryce Mersberger on the outside. Big lunge from the 3 car. And Mersberger inserted himself into this mix with that red number board, signifying that he is the points leader. It hasn't been the most stellar of weekends in comparison to his prior events this season. So this near miss there for the 3, all the way out to the edge of the road at the far end of the racetrack.
Yep, good recovery there. Something we missed out on a little bit earlier. And of course, you got to count out, or can't count out, Ayrton Grimm had his box of Wheaties this morning. double digits in points in cars passed this morning, and a little bit of dramatics for Ellis Pizia as he was battling with Trip Stout, was able to work that out. And then what could have been, if it was just a couple laps more, we could have been talking about a duel, French versus Hosey. But out front, it was indeed Hosey who would run away with it. But your championship points leader had to duke it out with one of the rising young talents. They drag raced for it. Further back, Mersberger and Grimm not able to catch whistle.
Wow, what a battle, what a race. GridLife Rush Series Race 3 complete from GridLife Midwest Festival. We'll see you after a moment.